That's great. Well, we are almost at the end of today's event, and before we say goodbye, I just would like to ask each of you in just a few seconds to share with us one thing that you're particularly proud of about Paraguay and about the organization that you represent, and the one thing that you would like to happen in the short term.
Well, I'm very proud of this country full of vibrant colors and hospital people, but to link my speech as a tourism minister to this investor's point of view, I will say that in Paraguay you enjoy life. Paraguay has a very good quality of life. You have good value for your money. People are open. The society is an open society. Here you make friends in a very short period of time. And to any investors, if you know someone in Paraguay and you want some reference about that person, give us 20 minutes. We will know everything about him.
Paraguay is a country full of opportunities, so what can I say? Just visit us and know us from hand to hand.
Where do you want the central bank to be in 1 year?
Well, the central bank should keep the same trend that it has from the past, let's say, from the Guarani creation more than 60 years ago. Our currency had never been touched for the past 60 years. We never take any zeros because for the past 60 years, we have never experienced hyperinflation. So we talk pretty good about central bank from the past. So the central bank has to do their role. I mean, keep inflation under control and the financial system just working well and smooth. That's all.
Thank you.
Yep.
Rosanna?
Well, for us, for the World Bank, Paraguay is a very important and strategic client. We have been with this new government partners in development for the last 2.5 years. And what would I like to see the World Bank in the near term doing in Paraguay? For us, it's important to continue supporting the developmental challenges in Paraguay, and through our projects, to our knowledge sharing, to whatever we can contribute to this society and this economy to make it more competitive.
Agustin?
On behalf of Country Paraguay, but I would like to speak also on behalf of private sectors that I participate with. I think we can be proud of what has been achieved hand in hand with the government authorities, and we have to gear towards developing the young people. You know, we're a young country, to be socially responsible and to be environmentally aware.
You know, I think that everything needs to be done in Paraguay. Whatever you see, you can see a new opportunity. And this is a very good news because I also see that there is a new generation eager to take advantage of those opportunities.
Tobias, what about you?
Perhaps what I'm most impressed of from the point of view of my organization is the quality of the policy dialogue that is happening with the authorities. And that made it possible that the authorities here transformed their own work plan into an arrangement with the IMF. So the programs that the IMF had here had a lot of what we call ownership. Yeah? Basically, it was designed by the Paraguayans themselves, and the fund supported it. And that's the way these type of arrangements work best. And it has led to a lasting good relationship, which perhaps is also a little bit atypical for Latin America, South America, where the fund is often viewed with a bit of suspicion in some other countries, but definitely not here. This country has a problem that most countries would love to have, which is how to manage well the good times, how to prevent that now, let's say, enthusiasm spills over into an overheating of the economy, or that it would lead to a potential buildup of asset bubbles in the future. And to the extent that they can be avoided, then this country definitely is facing a structural transformation of historic proportions.
Conor?
So just to recap, your question was what recent event are you most proud of, and what one thing would you like to change in the near future?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay. Well, the recent event that I'm most proud of is having discovered Paraguay and being an early mover in terms of investing into Paraguay. This is a diamond in the rough. Actually, it's now twinkling in the sunlight. And we, for our part, my group, I mean, without going into too much detail, you know, we've increased our capital 10 times what we have invested, and we have been present 7 years in the country. I've never seen anything like it, and we have no intention to go anywhere else. And I'm particularly proud that we were early movers into Paraguay. That tells me that we were smart on that particular day. In terms of going forward and what you know, if I could change one thing, what would it be? Like a good banker, I would ask for two. The first one I would like to see is I would like to see the supervision of the pension funds taken under the exclusive control of the central bank, just as they have the financial institutions and the insurance companies. I think that would be a very important long-term step for the development of Paraguay.
Currently, the supervision is shared with?
It's split between the controller of the state, the Ministry of Labour, I don't know why, and the superintendent of banks in the case of some funds, but not all. Basically, everybody's in charge and nobody's in charge. And then, you know, I'm anticipating a reform that I know is already in mind, and I'm just trying to give it a push. And the other thing that I would hope and pray for is a more determined and a more focused effort on infrastructure. I think that the private sector has shown that it will saturate, let's say, the immediate opportunity in Paraguay, which is to start using all the land. And the land is there, and it's, you know, we were talking about this earlier, it's as little as £30 an acre for, you know, top quality land. So I think the private sector is going to fill that and mechanize it and fill it full of animals or cereals or fruit and vegetable on its own. The private sector cannot dictate the policy on infrastructure on a countrywide basis. In some segments it is. For example, the private sector has just taken over the port business. And there are now, you know, shortly there will be one of the top 5 port operators in the world is moving into Paraguay with its own shipping line for the river and so on. So where the door is open, the private sector is doing it on its own. But where you put a motorway, well, you know, or a transmission line, you have to have a public-private partnership in the decision and hopefully in the execution.
So perhaps we're going to see a bunch of those programs coming up
I think so.
In the next future. Well, we'd like to thank you all for joining me today. Thank you for such a lively and insightful discussion. And thank you all for watching.